Before we draw our next player, when you're devoured, we have to add a doom token. In this case, it will cause a monster to appear, and we have to advance the clock to 9. Let's see what kind of a monster we're going to have to deal with. The Migo is back. Requires 2 investigation and a peril or lore. We do have a monster task here on the Plateau of Lang that will cover up that location there. Oh, I forgot to remove Tommy. He is gone. We have a stack of 5 investigators from this expansion still here. We'll go ahead and roll and see which one will replace Tommy. 2. So 1, 2. So we're going to get Norman Withers. Norman will start with 7 sanity and 3 stamina. He's an astronomer. Once per day, when another world card is successfully resolved, Norman may draw 1 spell, and he will start with 2 spells, which are Cloud Memory, discard to fully restore any investigator sanity, and Bind Monster. After rolling, discard to defeat 1 monster. Well, we definitely need that. Skids can now go. We still need to close a gate. I think the best bet would be the Plateau of Lang, but he loses 1 sanity by going there, so we would need to heal some first. He has 2 clue tokens and has a reasonable chance of completing the Plateau of Lang, but it will add another Doom token, and we only have 2 spaces remaining, and if we add a Doom token, another gate will open, even if we close a gate, so that's not going to help us much. So the Plateau of Lang is not a good idea. That limits us. We could go to chance and incantations, but it must be completed in order. Our options are quite poor. Here he would lose sanity if he completes it. A monster appears there when he enters. Oh boy, this is a difficult choice. Well, I will spend 2 trophies first. That way he can get back 1 sanity and 1 stamina. Taking up to 2 sanity. And now has 5 stamina. I think the way to go is probably the magic shop. Well, we have to close a gate. I don't think he has what it takes to go there. He's going to lose a sanity or stamina just by entering. Well, he definitely wouldn't survive that. Well, maybe he would. He does have a couple of clue tokens. He has 2 sanity. It says entry lose 1 sanity or stamina. He could lose a stamina and then have a sanity left, but that's going to require all 6 dice again. I'll go with the unknown. I'll go to the other world that I haven't seen yet. What is Skids dealing with here? Let's see if this chance pays off. Well, it's going to have an event. Lost in time and space. I was trapped in some unknown time. Some mysterious place. I despaired if I would ever get back to my home. Investigators at this adventure skipped their movement phase. Oh boy. Have to move the clock twice. I could get another Elder Sign though. We're getting close to either winning or losing here. We also have to worry about that terror effect still. And his event, Narrow Escape. Breathing heavily, your clothes torn and dirty. You wonder how you got out of there alive, with both mind and body intact. If you fail this adventure, you do not suffer any penalties. That is actually quite good, because the failure would move the clock again twice and add another Doom token, so not having the ability to take the penalty is great, actually. So we need 5 investigation, turn the clock twice, and 3 in a terror. He does have a couple of clue tokens. We have the terror and the 3. So now we just need 5 investigation, and then we can turn the clock twice to gain another Elder Sign. He also has his reroll ability. Won't need it. We actually got 9. We only needed 5. So we'll finish those tasks, which will cause the clock to move twice before its clock phase. So we pass midnight once. That will close the red gates. Add this trophy to Skids. We do not need to open another world. Lost in Time and Space will give us a clue and another Elder Sign. Now Skids has 3 clue tokens, lots of re-rolling available, and puts us 2 away from winning the game, but we're also close to losing. There are only 2 spots left on the Doom track. His clock phase will push this to 6. Since we passed midnight once, another gate will open thanks to Yogg-Sothoth. The red pops right back into place, and we'll put it right back here on Hibbs Roadhouse. At least that saved us from another monster appearing. We need a new Mythos card, because we did pass midnight. Emerging creatures. For each open gate, a monster appears. If there are no open gates, a gate opens and a monster appears. Well, that's just awful. Bring ruin. When an investigator suffers the penalties on an Arkham Adventure card today, that card is discarded and not replaced. We need to spawn 3 monsters. We already have monsters in 4 locations, leaving 4 open. We have no monster tasks out there, so we'll have to spread these out evenly amongst the open spots. Our first monster is a Dole. The ground ripped open and the impossible beast poured forth its massive and slithering length. Well, that's not good. A Doom token and 2 peril. We'll place that terrible one here on Hibbs Roadhouse. Not going to be going there. Next we have Sean. I watched in horror as the strange, fluttering incense sunk its many grasping legs into my companion's head. Well, it's going to lock down one of the green dice. That's also awful. Place that up here. Lock a green die. Draw another monster. Cultist. As the robed figure walked toward me, eyes filled with malice, his chant grew louder. Well, the cultist isn't too difficult, at least. We'll place the cultist on Ye Olde Magic Shop, because I want to keep this other world open. Patrice is already there. We can use the red die. She doesn't have any trophies to heal herself. She's already there, so she doesn't have to do the entry. And if we can complete it, we get 2 Elder Signs and we will win the game. So that is where we're staying, and that is what we're going to try and do. We need 4 investigation and a terror, minus 1 sanity, 3 investigation, a terror, and a lore. Patrice has the Ruby of Relay that she will use to gain that red die, otherwise these tasks would be impossible. She'll use her Ruby to gain the red die. Hopefully she rolls that wild card and we can use it for something. Well, we have the terror and the lore. We have enough to make the 3, or we could use the 3 here, but then we would need a 4 and a terror. I'm going to use this to take care of the first task, because that will leave me 3 dice and 1 with a possible wild card also. I think that'll give me a shot at completing it, but she will lose 1 sanity with that first task, taking her down to 2 remaining. Alright, here we go. 3 investigation, a terror, and a lore to win the game. Or Patrice will be devoured because the penalty will kill her. Here we go. Yes! 4. Terror, lore. We needed 3 terror and lore. 4 terror and lore. We actually did it. What an amazing roll. Way to go, Patrice. That was unbelievable. That's how you win a game of Elder Sign, with that super lucky roll. And she will gain a clue, a unique item, and 2 Elder Signs. She gains that clue, and she gains an additional clue thanks to her inspiration. She gets to draw a unique item, gaining the healing stone. Before rolling, discard to fully restore your stamina and sanity. but most importantly, she gained 2 Elder Signs, giving us number 14 and number 15, which is enough to seal away Yog-Sothoth and win the game. That was a very, very tight victory. Hopefully I didn't make any egregious errors that would negate my win. I'm sure I made a couple of errors here and there. There's a lot going on in Arkham horror games, lots of moving parts where it's easy to make mistakes. I've caught a few along the way and hopefully corrected them on the spot. But if I did make any errors, I apologize, and hopefully they weren't a large impact on the overall of the gameplay. But a very tight win with 2 spaces left on the Doom track, because if Yog-Sothoth would have woken up, that would have been it for me. I do not believe I would have been able to fight it and win the game. Very hard-fought victory. Don't win very many. Learning this expansion prior to playing this series, I lost 4 in a row. Usually I give my final thoughts on a game when I finish the playthrough, but I believe my thoughts would be quite obvious. I love the H.P. Lovecraft and the Cthulhu mythos, and Fantasy Flight creates top-notch games with really great components. So everything here, of course, falls in line with the kind of materials that they put out already. I really enjoyed the aspect of this expansion, adding the gates in and getting outside of the museum onto the streets of Arkham. That's really nice. Hopefully it wasn't too noticeable. In the middle of this playthrough, I left town for 8 days and then came back. So hopefully it's not too obvious, and hopefully I didn't make any errors because I forgot things that I was supposed to do after being away from the playthrough for a little bit over a week. I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely look forward to getting more Cthulhu-themed games played and on the channel. I've already done a couple playthroughs of Eldritch Horror. This is my first Elder Sign playthrough. I'll definitely be doing another one of these in the future with one of my other expansions. Let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. It won't be right away because I want to get a lot of other games out there. And as of today, I have about a week and a half left in October, so I want to get another 1 or 2 horror-themed games started and get to filming those. You can always help the channel out by liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting. I appreciate every bit of support that you all give me. I hope you're enjoying the Halloween and horror-themed playthroughs of this month, and I'll see you in my next video.